This is episode 5 of Ask North 40. Questions for this week are, how to stretch your leather boots? Are we building a new store? And how to farm worm poop. Let's get started.
Share your questions with us.
We'll share the answers with everybody.
This is Ask North 40.
My husband and I had a great experience with Ben at the Great Falls store. Ben works in the boot department, and that's why I want him to answer this next question.
Awesome.
Katie asked, I have issues with the instep of a cowboy boot being too tight. Are there options for stretching cowboy boots to fit a high arch?
Okay, when trying on boots, we want to make sure that you have the right size boot on. Starting off trying on boots, I would recommend sizing your foot, get the right length and the width. That's going to ultimately give you the best comfort of the boot and the way the boot's supposed to be worn. If you don't know your shoe size, just ask one of us and we can actually get your sizing there for you, but you're going to get the best feel that way. Don't just try on a boot because you can fit into it. You could end up having too much in the end. It could be too wide. We want the right fit for you, so let us stretch the boot for you, but first off, let's get you in the right size and you'll be good. Alright, so we got a couple options for stretching boots. We can do it in the store or at home. I'll show you a couple remedies for the DIYer. In the store, we have a couple options on what we do stretch with the boot. We do instep, shaft, and width. I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can stretch your boot at home. One product is the boot stretch. This is a product you spray inside the boot, then you put the boot on, walk around until the boot dries. It helps relax the leather while you're trying it on. It makes it a little more comfortable to walk around, and it stretches to your foot rather than to the machine or the tools that we use to stretch. Once you're done with that, make sure you condition the leather. Make sure that you get that moisture back into the leather, otherwise it could dry out. You could have some cracks, etc. But that is one way. The other way is to apply steam to the inside of the boot. This can be done with a pot of boiling water on the stove, etc. We have the hat steamer here that will make us steam. If you come in to the Great Falls store, we will stretch out just a little bit for you with the steam to get it on just to fit right. So what you want to do at home, get the pot of boiling water going. You could also make a funnel with foil to give you more controlled steam, just like this here. Ours here, as you can see, it makes steam pretty quick. So get the steam going. What we like to do is to place the boot onto the steam, let the steam go up inside of the boot. That steam will start to relax that leather. Before you do this, make sure you air it out, cool it off. It will get very hot. This is steam. But once you've aired it out, I use my fist. I can go into the boot and I can do 2-3 different things. I put my thumb right here and press outwards, then you can feel that pressure. You can rotate it over, place your thumb along the instep here. That will also, and just apply pressure, open your hand a little. You can apply over here as well. One of the other things I'll do, I'll go inside and make a fist, and that will also stretch a whole part of the boot. Once that is done, place that on your foot, wear it till it cools. If it's not enough, repeat that process and you should be good to go.
Alright, we've gotten this question 2 or 3 times since we started the show, so we're going to see if we can get Kurt Wicke, our vice president, to answer the question for us.
Tracy asked, we heard you bought property in Airway Heights off Highway 2. Are you planning a new store?
The answer to the question is, we do not have a set timetable. As many of you know, we've had land purchase in that area for some time. We've been busy the last couple years, however, with both our rebrand from Big R to North 40 Outfitters, as well as expansion in 2 physical locations in Idaho, Coeur d'Alene and Lewiston. Plus, many of you notice our increased presence just digitally with our social media campaigns, e-magazines, and other items, including blog sites that we now have on a new website. So, although we don't have a definite timetable for the west side of Spokane and the Airway Heights region, stay tuned. Periodically check our website. When we have something definite, we'll put it on there. Thanks for your support.
So we got a question in asking about compost and how to use worm castings, which is a fancy way of saying worm poop. So we are going to our dirt / scientist / gardening expert Charles Bocock, and he is going to break it down on how to break it down.
Gail asked, how do you set up a worm bin for composting and catching worm castings?
Okay, this is a typical worm house.
Hold on. Why would you even want worm poop in your garden? Well, let's get the terminology right first. How about that? It's not worm poop, it's worm castings. And after it's processed, it's called vermiculture. And it's one of the most organic things that you can put in your garden. It's like plant superfood.
Or worm farm, as you want to call it, you receive in the mail. They make round ones and they make square ones. The round one that I have here has 3 compartments, 1, 2, 3, and a lid, and it has a base. And the base is used to catch worm tea or worm juice. When you catch enough worm tea or worm juice, on the side over there, opposite of myself, is a little petcock that you can open and you can drain it out. You will notice when you look, if you were to lift tray 3, 2, and 1 and the lid off, that there might be some worms in there that are what we call composting worms or red wigglers. You don't want to put ever any earthworms in your worm boxes because they will not do the job that a composting worm or red wiggler will do. The red wiggler or the composting worm will eat 10 times its weight every 2 days, and earthworm won't do that. Composting worms are for that purpose. They compost your material, they turn it very, very black. As you can see, these containers are black. And so the residual from your kitchen is all of the scraps that you would make salads with or cook with. Now there are some rules as to what you can put in here that keep your worm beds working optimally. Number 1, do not put any type of citrus ever, ever, ever in this worm house. Don't put any meats of any kind in your worm house, and don't put any dairy of any kind. Don't pour any milk in here, don't put any cheese in here, don't put any cottage cheese in here. Anything of those 3 items. Again, that's dairy, that's citrus, and that's meat. Anything else you can put in there, and the worms will completely eat it up, run it through their digestive system, and you will have beautiful, beautiful black soil that you can use for growing all of the other plants outside, or you can use it inside in your potting for growing flowers or ornamental shrubbery, whatever you prefer to grow. I want to thank you very much for your interest in growing the worms, and I think it's going to really help our planet.
So that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for watching, and as always, we are looking for more questions. So put them in the comments below, or using the hashtag AskNorth40 on any of your favorite social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or just Snapchat us a question. Either way, we'll get the questions and we'll try and get them answered. Until then. Hey, have you asked a question yet? What are you still doing here? Below, ask a question.